Hello, Geeks and Gamers. Matt Lemke here with True Gamer Goggles. Hey, look at that, I can zoom out. And we're at the 1A Games booth again, and we're going to go do a brief overview of Tide of Iron, include some movement, combat, basically how to play the game, with Craig Robertson, who did some of the writing for some of the rules in the Quick Start rules, I guess is what they would be called. Go ahead, Craig.
Hi, I'm Craig Robertson. I'm the Chief Game Developer for 1A Games. We're doing Tide of Iron under license for Fantasy Flight Games, and we just came out with the next wave core set of Tide of Iron. That means that the core set is back in print. So, tell all your friends, and these are some of the things that we've done for it. The first thing that we did is we took a look at the rules, and we decided that we could make it easier to learn how to play. So what we did is we did a trifold where you can learn how to play the game in 10 minutes by reading just one page. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to run you through and give you a little preview of what you learned in that first scenario. So Tide of Iron is played in 3 basic phases in each game round. First phase is the activation phase, where you and your opponent take turns activating your units, either moving, shooting, or a combination of moving and shooting to try and take each other out. In that process, you can either do an advance action, which is just moving, a concentrated fire, which is where you just stay put and shoot, or you can do a fire and movement action, in which case you lose 1 movement point and then you take a shot at half firepower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you actually conduct a firepower attack in Tide of Iron. So if you take a look down here, we have our Tiger 1 tank and 3 Shermans. If anything, the Shermans are a little bit outnumbered in this one. So we're going to say that it is the Germans' activation. Now, the Tiger tank has a firepower of 13. So he's going to take a concentrated fire action, which means he's going to use his full firepower and he's going to take a shot at a Sherman. Now, let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Alright, we're going to shoot at this guy. You select a target. You count out your dice. And let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ran out of black, so now we got 13. Now, we're at normal range. If the tanks were adjacent, we'd be looking for a 4, 5, or a 6. Every dice that shows a 4, 5, or a 6 is a hit. In this case, since we're at normal range within the Tiger's range of 10, what we have is a normal range attack, so we're looking for 5s and 6s. So, 5s and 6s, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Now, the Sherman's out in the open, but he does still have armor. So he's going to get to roll 4 defensive dice. And he's going to be looking for a 5 or a 6. Each 5 or a 6 is going to cancel out one of those hits. Alright, this Sherman has had particularly bad luck. So, these don't count, only this one counts. So, that cancels out, leaves 4 hits. If the vehicle is undamaged, 1 or 2 hits causes it to be lightly damaged. 3 hits causes it to be heavily damaged. 4 hits, boom. So, score 1 for the Germans. Now, we're going to mark him with the fatigue marker, showing that he's already moved through for the action phase. And now we're going to take the Shermans, we're going to decide what to do with them. Obviously, their 75mm guns are not too effective on their own against the Tiger. So what they're going to do is they're going to combine their firepower. Each one of them has a range of 6 and a firepower of 8. So we're going to designate this Sherman as the active vehicle, and he's going to fire with his full firepower at the Tiger. Now, as Allied forces did historically, they're going to gang up on the Tiger. So this guy is going to support the attack with half of his firepower. So we have 8 dice here, 4 dice here. So we're going to count them up. We've got 4 there, 3. We're going to borrow a red dice. So let's make sure we're right. Whoops, there we go. Okay. Yep, that's 12. So we roll these. And ouch, this is not good for the Allies. We only have 2 hits out of all those dice. So what we're going to do is the Tiger has an armor of 6. In addition, it also has the thick armor ability, which means that it automatically gets to flip one of those dice to a 6. So we're going to see what we can do. All right, we got 4 6s and 5s, and then we get to flip one of these to a 6, so the shot doesn't go through. As a result, there's no damage, but both of these units are now fatigued. And that's pretty much it. That is how to resolve fire combat with vehicles in Tide of Iron.
What does fatigue mean?
Fatigue means that it's been used until the end of the round.
Okay.
That's a way of keeping track of which units have fired or moved so that you're not firing again. Now there are cards, strategy cards and operations cards, which allow you to remove those fatigue tokens and use them again. So that's an additional resource that you can use in the game.
Is movement pretty simple?
Movement's pretty simple. You're given a movement allotment. So let's say it's the next movement, the next action turn, and during the next game round, the Tiger decides he wants to go into some cover. So basically, the vehicle's given a movement allotment and movement points. So the Tiger has 5 movement points, and each hex has a certain entrance cost. So clear terrain is going to cost 1. Woods are going to cost 3. So you can move 1, 2, 3, 4. That leaves him 1 left. So if we think about it, he can actually make a fire and movement action. So he'll move 1, 2, 3, 4, and he has 1 movement point left. What he's going to do is, instead of taking an extra movement, he's going to take a shot at half strength, rounded up. So he gets himself, he's fatigued, he rolls 5 dice, and he rolls okay. So he rolls 2 hits. Sherman gets to defend with his 4, and he is lightly damaged. Lightly damaged means that he loses 1 each from his armor value and his movement value, and he's easier to kill later on.
Excellent.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good show.
All right. Thank you
And
very
this
much.
will be up as soon as I can get it up.
Okay. Excellent.